Good evening. It's Andy Singer, the Bearded Humor here. I know we usually do the Bearded Babble on Monday nights, but tonight I have a special guest. We're going to be chat. It's funny, it just popped up in my thing that Bearded Humor started a live video. Oh, I guess maybe I'll have to check that out. Um, how's everybody doing? Just checking in tonight. Like I said, we're going to get something going here with someone. Talk about some stuff. Just an update on my son, real quick. 2 days, 2 good days. That's always a good thing. A little bit of an issue with something today, but for the most part, it was a good day. David, how you doing? Sam, how you doing? Good to see people on here. Like I said, it was a good day for my son today. So we got 2 days in a row doing pretty good. So thankful about that. Sad day today. Any Van Halen fans out there? Eddie Van Halen passed away of cancer. I know he'd been battling different forms of it over the years. As a kid, I grew up on Van Halen. As soon as I first heard them back in, I think it was, what was it, like 78 or 79? The second I heard them, that was it. They were my favorite band. I have a imitation Frankenstrat guitar that I had built. I had clothing that I made. I was in a Van Halen air band. So sad day, but I was going back and forth with Lee O'Donnell before. Lee O'Donnell's a monster truck driver, also from Jersey, and we were kind of reminiscent about the old days and talking about the Van Halen days and the BMX days and how it all went together. And it's good to know that when you think about music like that, when you think about Eddie Van Halen, yes, it's very sad. At 65, he passed away from cancer, but he left a legacy. He left music that will be around forever. Like I said, I was just listening to it on Spotify before I got on here, just to get myself in a good mood. Not to bring it down, but to listen to the music and to bring back so many wonderful memories. My entire bedroom as a teenager, I had painted graffiti style Van Halen stuff all over my room. Probably unbeknownst to my mother for probably a week or two. Then when she finally did come into the room and saw it, yes, there was a loud scream. So I'm sorry, Mom, for painting my entire room Van Halen, but I was a big fan. We're going to get some stuff going here tonight. My guest in for tonight, and we're going to talk about some things. I'm wearing my Donnell Rawlings Ripper Ninja merchandise. What is going on there, brother?
What's up, man? How you doing?
How are you doing?
Fantastic. I'm alive. It's a good day. That's all I need, pretty much.
That's all that we need. First, why don't you introduce yourself, and then we'll get to talking about a lot of things. As you can see,
Oh, come on. I need to get that merch. It's some good shit. My name is Raj. I'm a personal trainer, a mindset coach, based out of here in New York, but I also do a lot of online work, and I just love stand-up comedy. So that's why when you decided to do this, I was like, of course, let's just talk. I'm excited.
it's amazing too, just how people connect. Like I said, we don't have to have a history. I don't have to know you, but sometimes you can just connect with people on social media, and there's just something there. And as everybody knows, I'm good friends with Donnell Rawlings. I was unable to go out there because of my son's medical conditions, but I did get a lot of behind the scenes. I did know a lot of what was going on.
Nice.
But you were out there.
Oh, it was amazing, man. It's hard to believe it actually happened. Now that it's over, you look back and you're like, oh, okay, wow. Because it seemed like they threw it together so fast, but it seemed so professional. Like all the safety precautions were in place. Everyone was just having such a great time. The food trucks were there. Merch was so good, and everyone was so sharp. Like it felt like they had been performing for months before it even went down. But that, even though that wasn't the case, it felt like it, which was so good, man. And have you been to Ohio
No, I
before?
haven't yet. I was supposed to go out last year, didn't make it, and then of course this year, right before Dave started everything up, Donnell reached out to me and asked me if I could be a part of it in any way, shape, or form. He knew the answer though. With my son not having an immune system, it's just we just can't chance it. So,
Yeah.
and even if I were to go out there for a day or two, I would have to come back, and then I'd have to quarantine for 14 days. I'm my son's hands and feet. I walk him, I carry him everywhere. So it just wouldn't work out. But the wonderful
Yeah.
thing is, I said, fortunate enough to Donnell kept me filled in. A lot of other people from, as you saw, the amazing team, Team Chappelle, is just it's indescribable. I had people reaching out to me throughout this whole time. I got the box of stuff for the entire family the other day, and Donnell said there's going to be a bunch more stuff coming too.
Oh
Uh,
man.
it's a family and it's an energy. Like I said, you saw it. I've been fortunate enough to experience it so many times on so many different levels. There's just something about it it's just indescribable.
Yeah, they're just good humans, and they all just, when you get that many good people together, it's just it becomes exponentially great. So like, I haven't had a bad interaction with anyone from that team. Like even after shows here in New York, just meeting them and taking pictures, just chatting briefly, is nothing but good vibes. Like I went to Donnell's show when he was in New York last at Caroline's. It was so hilarious because I'd never seen him live before then, so that was my first experience, and it was.
Oh, it, it's an experience, and the thing is, a lot of people don't understand is what you see on stage with Donnell is pretty much what you get off stage with Donnell.
Yeah,
That, that's his energy. That's his humor. I mean, he is just. It's like I said. It's one of my. I am grateful. It's one of the greatest gifts of my life. Being able to call him a friend, laughter with him, sharing laughter with people around him. Like I said, Team Rawlings, Team Singer, Team whatever. When that energy gets together, it's absolutely just amazing. And I mean, that's the amazing thing about it too, is as you saw out there, you never know who's going to be there. You never know who's going to pop in.
I see
You
the
never
beard.
know what's going to happen. Oh, am I okay?
Uh oh. Yep, that's better.
Okay, good. Yeah, I've been having some Wi-Fi issues, but hopefully we'll get through this.
Yeah, we'll make it. Yeah, what were you saying before? It froze, and I just saw the beard extend.
just 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 about the energy. And you never know. Like I said, you never know. And the thing is too is I think it starts with Dave and Donnell. They both seem to do the same thing. I think they've learned from each other about keeping the energy and keeping the people around you. What
Hmm.
you want. And like I said, it's just absolutely incredible. The people that I get to call friends, that I get to talk to, that I get to
Yeah,
share love with, is it's just
yeah.
an amazing
Uh oh,
group of
you're
people.
breaking up a little bit more. Can you hear me?
Are you gonna?
You
Yeah.
still there?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear
I
me?
Yeah, it might be a little bit delayed, but that's fine. It's like old timey. How did you link up with Donnell originally?
It's a long story that's got a little bit of a history. I'll try to make it as quickly as possible because it goes back to Dave Chappelle, of course. When my son 10 years ago, when my son was stricken with meningitis, it was a horrible time. We were living in and out of hospitals. We didn't know if he was going to make it. We were being transferred from one hospital to another hospital, and it was just horrible times. We ended up in a children's rehab hospital, not knowing his condition. He was in a coma. Hadn't got home in weeks, literally weeks. Hadn't been home. My wife
Wow.
finally went. Yeah, she grabbed all the mail that had been piling up, and she brought it in because we still, you gotta pay your bills, you gotta keep the mortgage.
Yeah.
Uh, so we started going through the mail, and we had pre-ordered Dave Chappelle show first season DVD. We had pre-ordered it because we were such big fans of it when it was on Comedy Central that it
Hmm.
had come during that time. It had come in during that time that we were in the hospital, and my wife, we were going through, and we picked it up and we looked at it, and it was like an immediate, like, no, we don't need this now. And it was almost, we both did it at the same time. as I was putting it down, I think we both grabbed for that DVD, and we both said
Yep.
we need this. That was the start of just the vibe and energy that we needed. The laughter that comes from Dave. I mean, you don't have to say anymore. Dave Chappelle. Chappelle's one of the greatest things ever. And that energy carried us through so much. We laughed at times when there shouldn't have been laughter. There would be nurses and doctors would come into the room. Most of them enjoyed seeing what was going on in the room because we were in a room with three other families, critically ill children, not knowing what was going on. At night, we would bring it. We would all sit there, we would watch it. We were all fans of Chappelle. We would all sit around and watch it and laugh. We would bring that joy into the room. So that was something that's absolutely priceless. Been able to thank Dave for that, which is amazing. Um, After that, I'd reached out. I don't know how many years ago, but at one point, I actually was able to tell that Charlie Murphy when he did a concert. Rest his soul, Charlie. He did a concert
Yes.
here in Montclair, and I got to thank him for that. That was amazing. It was very touching. And then I don't know how many years ago, I reached out to Donnell through Instagram, and I think he was having knee surgery, and I sent him one of my funny memes, something joking around about his knee, something about a scooter. Oh, no, no, the very first one was he had posted up that he wished that he was in an Usher video that had just come out because he's friends with Usher. I threw his face like in a picture from the video, and he was like, okay. And then we kind of just went back and forth for a while about like memes, and he just enjoyed my sense of humor. And then he started looking and seeing what my life was about. I
Hmm.
told him a story about the Chappelle Show DVD and how much the humor meant to us and how much he meant to us. And we just kind of went back and forth. And then one year, it's probably close to, I don't even know, 15, I don't know, years ago. I don't, 7, I'm not even sure. It seems like, but I had reached out to him on my son's birthday. I saw that he was in New York, and I said, "We're having a birthday party for my son. Nothing big, just it's always quiet, family." I said, "If you'd like to come, you can come." Not expecting him to.
Hmm.
Uh, I think he said, "I'll see." Figure of it. A couple hours later, while the party's going on, I get a phone call because he had my number, and he's like, "Where the hell are you?" He's like, "I can't find your house," and I'm like, "What?" He was lost. He came in, and I've told this story before. Um, we were talking about different things. We were talking about comedy. We were talking about laughter. We were talking about family. And I was telling him about my father, how he's always been my influence for comedy, sneaking me out to watch Saturday Night Live as a little kid. Um, and I had told Donnell, I said, my father instilled in me to laugh at life, death, and everything in between. And as I said that, Donnell said it to me, and we've pretty much been inseparable ever since. We just,
Bam.
yeah, we just connected on that. And I'm amazed too. I've always been I guess, a funny person, the funny sidekick, the comical one. Um, Donnell saw something in me that I'm only beginning to accept, because when you have someone of his caliber tell you, some of the stuff you do, some of the stuff you think of, some of the stuff you say is hilarious, you don't want to believe it.
Yep.
I've had Dave tell me some of my, he's cracked up at my stuff, and it's very humbling, and it's weird. Like I'm not on their level, but I can make someone like that laugh. So it's again, it's just a comedy thing,
Yep.
and that's what it is. When you connect on comedy, people who understand true comedy understand life a lot differently, because I've always said, when you can learn to laugh at everything in life, it makes life a little bit easier.
Oh
I've said
yeah.
my days are difficult, my days are tough. I deal with things. We all deal with things. We all carry a different weight on our shoulders. We all deal with different things. It's not easy sometimes, but if you can laugh at it, it will make a very tough day able to get through.
100%. Yeah, man. And that's it's such a beautiful message too, because I think, yeah, like you said, like just the people that understand comedy, like that's the whole point. Like none of it's meant to be taken seriously. And it's not like, even though there's some comics that are, doing it to make a statement, but at the end of the day, they're just trying to get you to laugh. And because it's like the power of laughter is just so incredibly underrated because, you know, without just that's the worst life, just a life without laughter. I could live with a lot of other things, but if you go without laughter, it gets dark fast, you
Yeah.
know. And it's
Yes.
interesting. Like a lot of my favorite thing, my favorite thing to do is go to like comedy shows and just watch when people aren't enjoying it. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you even paying to be here? It's like you're missing the whole point of it. Are you going to be offended for for a joke that you paid to hear, and then just continue to be upset after the fact? It's like I saw a couple of people doing that at the Chappelle camp this year. They were just sitting up front, arms folded, no laughing. I was like, "What are you doing? You came out to Ohio to not laugh at this during this?" It's
That's
sad, man.
if there's comedy, if there's humor in it, you have to see that. Some people get agitated or they take things personally, and it's not like you were just saying. I was telling somebody the other night. Um, Last year, I think we went to a Anthony Jeselnik concert.
Hmm.
Uh, so, and if anybody knows Anthony Jeselnik's comedy, it is some of the deepest, darkest. It hits you like you think it's the punchline, and then he goes so far left, and then he hits you with something else. You're like, oh my god! But again, to see people walk out is hysterical because again, true comedy is there's
Yep.
my humor. Listen, I get on stage and I talk about my son. I talk about what he
Mm.
goes through. I talk about his seizures. I joke about it, and I get the cringe factor. I get the, but then I get the
Hmm.
laughter. It's my truth. It's my life. If I can laugh at it, laugh along with me. Laugh along
Yeah.
with. I've been at comedy shows with friends, and the comic will start going off on like special needs kids or kids in wheelchairs, and they'll look at me, and I'll be the first one hysterical. Like, yeah, yes, my kid.
Right.
Yes, I find that even more funny because why didn't I think of that? Because it's humor is there. That's what it's about.
Oh, I love racial comedy, man. It's like if you're the only black guy in the room and then someone references they're like people just look at me and it's funny, like sometimes I'll delay the laughter just to make them uncomfortable. They're like, "Oh shit, he's not laughing. I can't laugh. This is I'll get canceled, you know."
That's that's wonderful. Oh my God, that is absolute genius. That's great.
Oh
You can
man.
control you can control the room. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's like just comedy is so beautiful just as an art form too. It's like so many parallels with comedy and like music and martial arts and all sorts of just any art. It's just like it's a very honest art. Like you can't bullshit your way to the top like Chappelle and any of those comedians at the top. It's like you got years and you suck for a lot of them, and you're never too far away from bombing. Like even it's interesting to hear about the stories when Dave bombs. He's like, it doesn't happen often, but of course it still does. But the better you get, the more rare that is.
And you have to remember that in your head as a as a biker, as an upcoming comedian, even as an established comedian. That's part of comedy is bombing. Those are going to be stories. Don't fear it. Don't it's it's tough to get up on that stage, but anybody who's ever been up on that stage knows when you're looking out and you see people laughing and smiling at something that's coming from your heart and from your head, there's no feeling in the world like that. That's
Mm-hmm.
amazing when you connect. And like you said too, the stage never lies. The stage isn't going to lie. That's how you're truly going to learn the craft. Donnell forced me on stage. He bullied me on stage. So I'm grateful to him for that. Um, and I'm still. This was a year 2020. I wanted to do a lot more open mic time. I wanted to spend a lot more time honing and learning. And I got up, I think, 3 or 4 times before the pandemic shut everything down back in January. So I've been writing. I've been trying to figure out different things. And why I'm just trying to figure out something to
Yeah,
a good energy, something to keep comedy going. So this is what it is. If it'll turn into anything, I don't know. But
yeah,
again, so it's also just communicating with people because I
yeah.
missed that.
And it does, yeah. Like you said, it doesn't even have to turn into anything necessarily. Just the fact that you're doing it and you're meeting all sorts of new people. Like I'm glad I'm getting to talk to you right now. Like I don't actually care how many people are watching it. I'm just like,
Exactly.
sweet, I get to talk to you. I've always wanted to chat with you. Like I love Kevin Smith, man. He's one of my like distance mentors. Like I just love the way he's living life, man. He's getting after it.
Again, that was another blessing from Donnell because Donnell knew that I was a Jay and Silent Bob fan. And Donnell's very, very close with Kevin. They've worked on a bunch of things. They're going to be working on some more things. And when he
Good.
got the call that Kevin said, "I want you in reboot," Donnell said, "Can I bring somebody along?" And Kevin was like, "Absolutely," because that's just the way Kevin is. He's sort of stopping in to say, "Go back to your bone."
Yeah.
My coach. Um, and all of a sudden I get a call one day, and Donnell's just like, "Hey, you're going to be in Jay and Silent Bob reboot with me." I was like, "Well, huh?" Like, don't nothing. He's like, "Oh, as soon as I know the date, we'll figure everything out. We're going to fly out there." And that's another long story too with the whole thing. How I was supposed to be one of the cops in the background of the opening scene because of the fear I couldn't be. And again, Kevin basically my role in that movie, The Popcorn Eater, basically popped into Kevin's head literally within like minutes of what else can we do for this guy? Like
Yeah.
where else put him in the scene? And he's just like, it's going to be one of those, and that was it. And another thing too, that's another. I've been on a bunch of sets. I've been around a bunch of people, and I can say again, Team Chappelle, Team Rawlings, that whole vibe is amazing. Team Smith, Kevin Smith, absolutely amazing to be on a movie set with him, to spend a little time with him. Just not a care in the world. Okay, we're going to roll, but if you have something that you want to change, if you want to
Hmm.
live something, he's all for creativity. He's all for it. Doesn't yell, doesn't get mad, doesn't, and it carries set. It's just I met so many amazing people that I've become friends with from that set. Again, just absolutely incredible. Hoping that there's going to be some more with that. Again, depending
Yeah.
on the way 2020 goes, 2021 goes. But hopefully, there's going to be some more Kevin Smith interactions there. So fingers crossed.
Oh man, he's so creative, and he's just so, like you said, carefree. Like I've been listening to him since back in the Smodcast days, and I don't know how he did it all. Like he had a podcast network, and he was on like 6 shows. He had a
Mm-hmm.
daily show with his wife. I was like, how are you putting out all this content?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
just
man.
he's one of those inspiring people that just works and works and works. And again, so I think something that I've learned recently, I don't think I've ever really believed in it or understood it, is the power of speaking it into existence. And even
Hmm.
you tell yourself, okay, I'm going to do this. I will do this. You can. You have to
Yeah.
try to push the doubt out. You have to keep it positive. And again, just speaking it. I think he's one of those people that everybody said, "Oh, you can't." It's not going to work if you believe in
He's
yourself
like,
and
watch.
around you. Yeah, exactly. And that's important. Is just self belief and having people around you, building the team. That's something else I've learned a lot recently too. Seeing different teams of people and being around different things. That building your team around you.
Yeah, it's like talking about belief. It's one of those things where if you like the quote goes, if you believe it or you don't, either way you're right. So it doesn't hurt to believe and just go on that. Like you'll find out one way or another if you can do it or not, but you have to get started. If you don't believe it, you're not going to try it, you're not going to attempt it. And there's so many dreams out there that have gone unrealized just because they believed either the voice in their head or someone else like pooped on their dreams at the wrong moment and they bought into it. So it's really good to see those people that go out there and just go, fuck it, let's see what happens. Because then that's inspiration for us too. Because all it takes is just that little spark, and then you don't necessarily have to do it how they did it, but in your own unique way, you can always create something. Like we all have, like this came out of your head. You're like, I'm just going to start this series. I'm just going to talk to people. Who knows where it'll go? But as long as you're enjoying it and you're getting out of your way in terms of like doubts and fears, I'm like, oh, will people watch? Like if you were so worried about people watching, you wouldn't even do it. Probably. I don't know. You tell me.
No, you're absolutely right. It was one of those things where once
Oh,
again.
that's the best. Oh, that's a dog. Oh,
my co-host. Yeah, it's just a lot of that. It's I think a lot of it comes with age. I turned 51 this year, and I think I'm getting to that. I've always seen that. I've always seen the older comedians and older people talk about, I don't care. You know, like
Hmm.
you get to that age and you just, listen, I'm going to do and say what I want to. And I think I'm actually getting there, and it's very rewarding and it's very relaxing just to, you know what, I'm just going to do this.
Hmm.
I don't really care. You start doing things for yourself. You
Yeah.
realize it's not for an audience. It's not for likes. It's not for comments. It's for yourself. And like I said, this is getting on here and doing this and talking with you. I thank you. I thank the people that are here, the three people right now, whatever. I thank that because it means a lot because it's helping me. It's therapy
Hmm.
for me. I'm hoping that it's therapy for you, and I'm hoping it's therapy for anybody that watches this. Again, just sharing a good vibe, just
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah, and like going back to what you said about doing it for yourself, I think it's so important to just do that because anytime you try to do something for someone else, not necessarily like maybe for their approval or to get something from them, that's never the your best work or never the work that makes you happiest, or fills you with the most like sense of life. Just because it's like some ulterior motive or you're just trying to get something out of it other than just the enjoyment of doing it. Like that's why I like Dave's comedy so much because he's like half the jokes he tells are for him. And if you happen to like him, like I love when he comes into the cellar and just does like 3 hours. And he's just drunk and just shitting around on stage and just saying stuff to make like Will laugh or whoever is in the audience with him. It's it's the best.
Like I said, I've been fortunate enough to be backstage and around and private parties and stuff like that. And I mean, that's amazing. Like when he does like those 3 hour shows that go on, and a lot of it is just off the
Riff.
top of his head. It's, it's just riff. That is amazing. But I think able to be backstage at a place like when he was at Radio City, when he did
Hmm.
the 3 or 4 weeks at Radio City. I was there for quite a few shows. I got to be backstage. I got to see him, Donnell, so many amazing comedians and people. When there's no audience, it's 10 times more. There was one night in particular that it was Dave, Donnell, Old Quest. Droby is one of the most beautiful human beings. Absolutely love him. The three of them were standing
Hmm.
around, and my wife and I were standing there. And when I tell you, we kept pinching each other because just the three of them going in on each other and joking about, because then there doesn't have to be a filter. With Dave, there's not a filter. With Donnell, I think there may, I don't want to speak for anybody, but I think there may be a little bit of, maybe they won't go there to certain places
Hmm.
just the retribution that could come at you. But see them backstage, when I tell you, it was, I can still picture my, how many times they were literally dropping each other to their knees, flat on the floor, laughing. It was just that is the truest comedy you can ever see when you have great comedians just just totally unfiltered.
Just making each other laugh. It's the best. Like, I like because have you been to the cellar, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that back table. That's like the same vibe. Just comedians hanging out, just cracking on each other, and just having a good time, not really caring. And that's when you get the best humor too. When everyone's not going to take it seriously, and everyone's just there for the like to be around each other to celebrate life with each other and just enjoy the moment. That's I love now that there's a trend of locking up your cell phones at these shows just because it makes such a big difference. I didn't think it would, but it's huge. Just everyone's focused right up there in the moment on stage, and the comedians don't have to look out into the crowd and just see someone just like texting after they paid so much money to see a show. It's
yeah.
uh, it's a huge change to the vibe.
That's a wonderful thing. I remember first time years ago when I went to a Dave show that Donnell had invited me to. We had to lock our phones up, and I remember being like, "Huh?" Like it's kind of tough at first. It's like I need that. Like I can't. but then you realize after doing that one or two times, after that, whenever I would go out, or my wife and I would go out to no matter what it was, we would turn our phones off on our own, whether they collected them or not. We would just turn them off because it really makes you enjoy the moment.
Yep, 100%. And that right there is just the secret to a good life. Like when you're in the moment, you're not really worried about any. You can't be worried about something in the moment because you're in the moment. Usually, if you're worried, it's you're thinking about something that has happened already or something that could happen. So just anything that you can use to get back to just being present is just so good. Like comedy is amazing. Live music, I miss that so much. Oh, I didn't think I would as much, but it. I can't wait till things start to open back up. Like now here in New York, there's a lot of outdoor shows. So me and my wife have been going to a couple of those, which has been nice. But I miss like Blue Note Jazz, that club here, like Sony Hall, just little venues where you get some random groups you never heard of, and you're like, holy shit! I'm glad I came out to this, paid $20.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I follow again someone that I've met through Donnell, through Team Chappelle, Fred Wyonet,
Oh,
Fred. Sunday nights he does a live jazz thing. It usually goes for about 2 hours. I am on there every single Sunday night.
I see you in there.
Oh, and that's another thing too. Fred, his wife Carla, the whole band with no name. Again, just an amazing group of talented, funny, loving people. Not only the energy that you get from the music, but the energy that you get from them. Like I said, I've been to so many. You know, Fred usually plays at all of Dave's things, the juke joints and stuff like that. And man, I cannot tell you just when you leave. Yeah, thank you, Fred Wyonet is yeah, J.K. Aspen for putting that in there. Yeah, Fred is again. It's it's part of the team that when it all comes together, it's the comedy, it's the
Hmm.
music, it's the inspiration, it's the just absolutely everything. It's perfect. It's like baking a perfect cake. You got all the right
Oh,
ingredients.
I love cake, man. Fred is amazing. I saw
Oh,
him at the Blue Note, and
ah,
him and the whole band. It was just I didn't know the harmonica could do that. I was like, what is this? Have I heard anyone play the harmonica before? Apparently
he's
not.
he played with Prince. He plays with Stevie Wonder. I mean, he is
Yeah.
just. And again, as amazing as he is, I'm lucky to be able to call him a friend too, and just a beautiful human being, a beautiful
Hmm.
spirit, just absolutely incredible. And again, the music, as you know, is the best.
Top notch. Yeah. Like I'm so like that was one of the highlights of my year so far. When we went to Ohio, it was for Dave's birthday weekend, so they did a jam session. It was Fred and Talib Kweli, Questlove was on drums, and there was a lot of drop-ins too. So it was good vibes. And I was like, oh, like it doesn't matter the circumstances that are going on. Like these people will still find a way to come together and celebrate life and just have fun. And that was like the highlight of my year so far.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that. And again, I keep thanking them all. You know, I wasn't able to get out there, but they sent me the love, they sent me the energy, and I felt that, and it really did. It made a huge difference just to get that from all of them.
Hmm.
I can't wait to have another, Chappelle show or juke joint or Donnell thing or whatever. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just I'm going through withdrawals from it, but
I can
it's
imagine, man.
yeah,
It's real.
it is it's tough, but we're gonna get through it, and we know things are gonna pick back up, and I don't know when things are gonna get back to normal or
Yeah.
close, but whenever they do, everything's gonna pick right back up. The vibe is gonna be there, the love is gonna be there.
Yeah.
I'm grateful to see, like you were talking about New York. Also, Cipher Sounds through Team Chappelle.
Oh,
Absolutely, he's got a bunch of shows now because not only is he an amazing DJ, but an amazing comedian as well too. And him and Will Sylvans. Oh
yeah.
my God,
They're
Will is
hilarious. I love Will.
the monsters. And you put the two of them together, it's like a dynamic duo. I put them together. I've only seen the two of them separate, but I have to see that
Uh,
that that's oh.
I saw them a couple weeks ago at the stand, and it was they're I think they're one of my favorite like comedy duos, like tag teaming, like because there's not too many of those type like is Dave Attell and oh god, is it Jeff Ross? Yep,
Bumping.
yeah,
Oh,
Bumping Mics, they're good, but it's just you rarely get to see two comics on stage just going back and forth. So when you do, it's pretty dope. Like Will and Cypher, and I love when Dave and Michael Che go up. That's my favorite because they're both insane.
yeah, yeah. It's like I said, like I was talking about, like behind the scenes to see that, but when that happens on stage, it's priceless. I mean, when you have something just off the play, hey, let's just start going off on each other.
Yeah.
It's that's what I think a lot of people don't understand about comedy is like if you start going in on somebody, people start to think that it's harsh. True,
It's nice.
it's love. It's me and like I said, half the people won't see half the stuff that Donnell and I do. Eventually, someday we may put out a book, but there's stuff that we know it's just going to cross too many people the wrong way. It's going to piss off too many people. It's way too soon. And Donnell and I, we go back and forth. And like
Yeah.
I hit him hard. He hits me, and it's love. There's never, you can go deep, and when you do that, it's it's showing your comedy and it's showing your love through how deep you can get with comedy.
Yeah. Like yeah, if you can't risk like joking around with someone like that, then probably there's something that it's not the level of relationship just isn't that deep in that regard yet.
You're
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Because the people I'm closest with, you can just destroy and say the worst things, and it's okay.
It's that's what, and I'm fortunate enough to. My wife Jenny is absolutely. She's very funny. At night, the two of us sometimes we just veg and watch TV and hang out, and we'll just like rip apart like HGTV or Food Network or stuff like that. And it's like there've been a couple of times she's like, "Oh, do you want to go live on this?" And I'm just like, "No," because
It's just for us.
we go deep. And I'm glad that I have someone that I can do that with. I'm grateful that she's on that level too. There's sometimes like I'll hit her with something, and I'll get that look. I'll get that, and I'm like it's me, and she's
Yeah.
like, okay, because like I'll go brutal on her. So, if that was in public, I would probably get my ass beat by a bunch of other. But it's like you can't. My daughter is 13 years old. She doesn't take anything I say seriously
Hmm.
because 90% of the time when I do say something, it ends up being a punchline. So like half the time, as I'm halfway through a sentence, she'll already be walking away from me, moving on because she knows she's like, no,
Yeah,
like
like I'm not here
I
for it.
hear it, Dad. Like I don't even want. And she has. I couldn't have be a prouder dad. Her timing and her sarcasm. I can't.
It's right up there.
I
See,
it's,
that's a good background to have for life. Just oh, if you yeah, like you were saying, if you can learn to laugh at life as it, you're gonna save yourself a lot of suffering. You
yes,
know,
yes.
it's the antidote right there.
Oh,
It's important to pick a good partner too, man. Like my wife is so weird. And I had no idea she was this weird before I married her. So I'm glad that I chose the weirdest and the best person for me. Because it's like, of course, like we say the worst things that, of course, we can't say on the internet or out loud to other people because you get canceled.
yeah, absolutely. Oh my God, yes, absolutely.
Just start a chart, just like, yep, that was one. I probably would have got canceled for that. Nope, yep, definitely this.
Yeah. It's a wonderful thing when you can do that, and like even with my daughter, I mean, she was what like 11, 12 when I took her to see Reboot. We
Mhm.
watched Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back a couple of days before, and sitting there going, "Oh my God, my 11-year-old daughter," and I'm thinking, wait a second, I knew this comedy at 11. I knew this.
Yeah,
It's like I knew all this too. I'm sure she probably knows it, and it's, it's very good when you I I have such a great relationship with my daughter, and it's wonderful.
hmm,
And that's another thing too that I want to talk to you about because my daughter came to us and she said, we were watching a bunch of different things, and then we really couldn't find much on. And then she's really into the anime and stuff like that. And she's the one that came to us and she said, "Hey, we started watching Beyond Neverland, I think was the first one I think we watched.
Hmm.
And then she said Attack on Titan. And
That show is intense.
where are you in it? We're I think a little more than halfway through the first season.
So I watched the first season when it first came out back like in 2013. It was, I think it was straight. It wasn't dubbed yet, so it was just subtitles.
Yeah, that's the
So
way we're doing it too. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, oh, I would hate to live in that world. Can you imagine you just living your life and then some giant just straight up comes across your wall and just eats your mom? You're like, what? No.
It's
That
just I
man.
absolutely love the energy of that though, because again, it gets your mind creating. I mean, when it comes to like
Hmm.
trying to write comedy and trying to come up with comedy, like you were saying before too. It's an art.
Hmm.
So you're always looking, not that you find inspiration from something like that, but it helps your creative process. It helps you
Yeah.
think differently. And like I said, the writing from that Attack on Titan, oh my gosh, if anybody wants to see something that'll blow their mind, it's on Netflix. It's absolutely you have no idea what's coming, and
Yeah.
you think you're going to get a moment where okay we can calm down, and then it goes
Nope.
completely over the top, and it's one of those things where you can't. I think, like I said, we've watched I want to say probably 9 or 10 episodes, and I think
Hmm.
that's probably within 3 nights. We probably on average watch 3 to 4 episodes a night, just because you can't watch one. You can't.
Yeah, because it's so good. Like, and they leave you on the cliffhanger. You're like, of course,
Yeah.
it's. All right, so, did she just get you into anime recently, or had?
Yeah, like I said, we watched. I think it's called Beyond Neverland. We watched that. That I think is only one season. I think the second season of that is coming out either the end of this year or next year.
Okay.
So that was maybe 10 or 12 episodes. Very good, very deep, very dark. Again, but then she said she wanted to do something else. So then we started the Attack on Titan, which I don't know. I think there's another season coming. Like I said, we're halfway through the first. I
Yeah.
think there's a second and a third out. I'm not sure if it's the third or the fourth coming out soon. But by the time the next season comes out at the end of this year, we'll definitely be caught up and we'll be ready
Yeah.
for.
Man. Yeah. I'll send if you want some anime recommendations. I'll send some your way because
Please.
I grew up on that stuff. Man, it was stand up comedy, anime, Bruce Lee movies.
Uh,
That was like I feel bad for well not feel I don't feel bad. It's kids are just growing up in such a different way. Now I'm like it was like TV used to be an event. Like if something was on at 8, you couldn't tape it or I didn't have a VCR so I couldn't tape it. So I was like I got to be home. I got to set my watch. I got to make sure I'm sitting down here and watching this. Um, but now there's just so much to consume now. I like even during quarantine I thought we would get to the end of the internet. We didn't. It's like we watched 2% of the things that are out, and it was 7 months of sitting inside all day. We still didn't watch it all.
yeah, it's pretty sad. I mean, like I've had that talk with my daughter too. Back in the day when I had to walk 20 miles uphill and 20, you're a New Yorker, so we had 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 21, and then you could kind of get some weird channels like on the with a tinfoil and hangers and
With the
stuff.
antenna, yeah.
Like you said, there was no recording anything. We had one black and white TV in my house that was in the living room. And I had an older sister, so I never
You
was
didn't
in charge.
watch it.
I never was in charge of the TV. But like you said, you heard something was coming on. You all sat around the TV and you watched it as a family. You enjoyed it. Or if there was something that you begged, I would beg my sister, please, I want to see this. Please, please, please don't take the TV at that time. Beg to
Yeah.
your parents.
Like,
And
can I
now
just don't make me do anything, please? Let me just watch this.
and now we have 900 channels, and you sit there all night going like this, and you can't find anything.
That's the hardest thing for me. Like, me and my wife will sit down and we go, "What do you want to watch?" "Oh, what about this?" "Okay, maybe, but what about this?" "I don't know. Let's keep looking." And you just scroll. It never ends. And there's
Yeah,
always something that gets you almost to watching it. Then you're like, "Wait, let's keep looking."
yeah. And
Oh
before you know,
man.
you spend 2 hours, and you're like, it's time to go to bed, and you really haven't watched anything.
Yeah, it's hard to commit to shows that are more than for me more than like 1 or 2 seasons. That if I've come into a show and it's like season 6, I'm already tired before I even watch it. I'm like, oh shit. Oh well. So I love finding out about like this is new show, Pin 15 on
Okay.
Netflix. It's hilarious. I think if you the comedy writing is great, and the actresses in that show. It's pretty much about just growing up as a middle schooler in the '90s.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Pin
it's super relatable.
Pin 15, you said?
Yep.
Definitely gonna have to check that out.
Oh, what's up, Craig? Oh, that's my friend Craig in the comments.
You said, have you watched
Lovecraft Country.
Lovecraft Country?
I don't
Is
have
this
HBO. Is it on HBO? I have too many services. I have Netflix, Hulu, HBO, and
I
not HBO, something else. But I'm like, I can't pay $9.99 for 7 things. That's how you end up spending $100 a month. That's how they get you, man.
I know it's again. There's nothing on. It's just it's a headache.
That's why
Oh,
I'm watching these. I'm going back and watching old comedy specials. So that I was doing that during quarantine once a week. I hosted like a Zoom event for me and some of the members of the gym I'm at, and it's so much good comedy out there, man. Like, who are some of your favorites? Like okay, the big names, like Dave excluded, because that's the goat. Who is to be like your top five? Do you have a top five?
that's I can't. That's something
It's
I
hard.
don't like to ask people because it changes. Sometimes you'll forget about somebody or you'll see something. I mean, but
Yeah.
like the it's like you said in the beginning when we first were on lockdown. That's the first thing I did was I started looking back and I was watching, Carlin, Pryor, Robin Williams, like just like all the greats, just to
Yeah.
see. And I was doing that not for so much listening to the jokes, but I was trying to actually watch it from a different perspective of
Hmm.
watch the form, watch the movements, watch the face, watch the interaction. I was trying to watch comedy a lot different, and I spent a lot of time watching a lot of comedy just like that. Maybe listening for the joke setup, listening for the way that it's written. Uh,
Hmm.
I did a lot with that. Put on a couple of things too. I love to just watch comedians talk. What is it? Jerry Seinfeld's car comedians in cars getting coffee or whatever.
Yeah.
Though I think I watched every single one of those. Absolutely, just to hear what's going on in the comedian's mind.
Which is it's always insane, or for the most part, very insane. And then
Yes.
you realize you see it like it's cool to listen to comedians' podcasts, and then you see what gets filtered out onto stage because you hear like the raw version on the podcast, and it's like, oh, but then you hear the polished version on stage, where you get to watch them craft it, and it's like it's so awesome because it's like with any other art form, you have like the raw idea, and then you over time you have to refine it and craft it and see what works, see what doesn't, and then over time you look back, you're like, oh, it started as this shitty thing, but now it's like Chris Rock has the most memorable bits of all time, and
Oh,
it's like I think like out of any comedian, like I remember his stuff the most, just because I know he takes so much time in crafting it. Like it doesn't seem like it's off the cuff, like it's all boom, boom, boom.
and it's and again too. I think it has a lot to do with the acting of it. It's when he speaks, whether it's his voice or the finger or whatever, you
He's
get
in it.
and I think that's something that I've learned from Donnell too. That the best comedians basically get up on stage and have a conversation with their audience.
Hmm.
You can't just get up there and tell jokes. You have to get up there and you have to connect. You have to have a
Yeah.
conversation. You have to engage with them. You have to make them feel like this was for me. And that's another thing too. That again, being around the greats like Dave and Donnell, uh, I've seen Donnell probably more times than most people. I've been fortunate enough to be at a gazillion of his shows. The one thing I will tell you, the joke is never the same, and that's a
Yep.
Dave too. It changes, it grows, it drops. It's there are
Hmm.
times like he'll come up. I'll be like, okay, I know where this one's going. Then I'll be like, wait, when did he add that? Or
Yeah, like I just saw him yesterday. What happened?
there have been times that we have talked about something backstage, and then all of a sudden he gets up on stage and it's a fully formed joke that kills. And I'm
You're
like,
like, how?
how did you do that? Like, when did you like? And again, it's riffing. The great comedians, yes, they get up there and yes, they have an act,
Yeah.
but if that act can change at any moment, and it will change,
Yeah.
it will, and then that depends on, like I said,
The
being,
crowd.
yes, being at Radio City and being around Donnell so much at Caroline's and a lot of other big places, and seeing that, he'll maybe like on a Friday night doing two sets. The first set, he may one joke he may go on and on and on with. He may do every part of it that he has, and the audience will be dying. And in the second set, for some reason, it's not the same vibe. It's not the same audience. Starts into that joke, and immediately before anybody even realizes it, he cuts out of it and starts going down a different route because he realizes you have to. That's that. Like I said, seeing that, being fortunate enough to learn about that you can't get up there and
That's
just
the art.
lock in. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's you have to be like sensitive to the crowd, and it's because it is, like, you're right. It is a conversation. Otherwise, they could just listen to it, a recorded version online, and it's not the same. Like, as much as watching specials and listening to them are, like, just being there in person, you get the energy, you get to look at them while they're connecting with you, you're connecting with them, and it's like it's unlike any other art form out there. So beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Ah,
And, yeah. It's I truly miss live laughter like that. But again, we'll get there. I'm
yeah.
gonna probably try to hook up with Syph at some point. I like I said, I got to see him and Will. I mean, I may have to put on like an entire hazmat suit to go out to a show, but I don't care. If that's what I got to do, that's what I got to
Now,
do.
where are you at again?
I'm in North Jersey. I'm in Passaic, New Jersey. I'm
Okay.
right by where Giant Stadium is.
Yep.
I'm 10 minutes. Route 3 is where Giant Stadium is. I'm like 5-10 minutes away from New York from Giant Stadium.
Oh, perfect, man.
I'm right outside the city. When people always ask how close you to the city, this is my in the city in 15 minutes or 2 hours.
Depending
And
on which
depending on the
time of day. Oh my God! It'll be worth it to put that hazmat suit on, because I think every Friday. I don't know if it's allowed. I'm not allowed to say where they're at, because New York is being so weird now. Like, even outdoor stuff they're being weird about. So I don't get it. But I know every Friday they're somewhere in the city, and I will share that with you, because it's they're always great together, man.
yeah, nothing like.
Yes.
Good night.
Oh, it's a good dog.
Good boy.
Oh, man.
Oh,
I almost, like, everyone's getting dogs now during quarantine. And as much as I want one, I know I'm not going to get one, but it'd be great to just have a dog, just to let it lick your face, rub its belly, take it on walks, throw stuff
it,
to it. Oh,
it is. They're definitely therapeutic. It is a good therapy. And sometimes they can be annoying and drive you crazy and stuff like that. But they are, like you said. Some nights I'll just sit here and just watching something on TV or doing something, listening to music, and just petting him.
yep.
It's pure therapy. It really
Oh.
is.
See, yeah, if you pet a human, it gets weird, but when you can do it to a dog, it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, some people pay to be petted, but that's
Yes.
a whole different industry and conversation.
Yeah, a whole other conversation we could have. Oh.
Oh, man.
We're coming up on an hour, so I know we're going to be getting booted off here soon.
All right.
Again, truly, truly, truly appreciative of this. This is therapy for me, man. So,
Yo, I'm glad we got to connect, because, I love your stuff, man. Anytime you do your Photoshop magic, I love the Charlemagne stuff the best. He needs it. He needs to just realize life isn't that serious.
yeah, we go hard on Charlotte, and like I said, again, you have no idea of the stuff that doesn't make it up.
I can only imagine.
There is him and Envy. Yee, we love Angela. We love you, Angela Yee. We absolutely love you. But no, it's all, again. It's out of love. It's out of a little bit of anger. It's out of a little. But for the most part, again, to be able to go that hard on somebody, there has to be some
Yep.
form.
Something's there. Man, thank you so much for having me. I let's keep chatting, of course, and anytime we can hop back on, talk anime, talk anything, man. This is fun.
Definitely send me some anime stuff that may be good. I'll run it by my daughter because she's the expert too, and we'll figure out some things from there. Also, where else can we find you if you want to plug anything, your fitness stuff, please go right ahead.
Um, yeah, rajlawfitness.com is my fitness website. You can add me on Facebook, Raj Law. I post there pretty much every day, just some health and fitness and mindset info. So if that's your jam, follow me. If not, don't do it. Don't do it.
Always, always got a positive message. You always got a funny message. Again, thank you for that because that's what I'm always looking for. I'm always looking to connect with people who share that same vibe. And again, thank you for that, man.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I noticed most about you. So I appreciate that as well. All right. I guess I got to hang up first. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know
mean,
how this works.
hey, again, my brother, peace, love, and
Hey,
laughter.
take care. I'll
Laughing,
talk to you
and
soon.
definitely going to see you one of these days at a Cypher show.
Oh, I'll let you know for sure, man. All right. Take
Definitely.
care.
Thank you. Again, another great night here. Just get on here and we just talk. We talk about anything. We talk about everything. We talk about nothing. Again, I'm grateful there, Raj, for that. Another beautiful human being, just with a great spirit, a great energy, and we just got to keep that going. That's what the world needs right now. I'm going to get booted off of here in about a minute. So again, I'll probably see you all next Monday night. I'll probably do another Monday night Bearded Babble. But again, if anybody wants to talk, if anybody wants to chat, reach out to me. Reach out to me. We can set something up. We can figure something out. Again, it doesn't have to be about anything. We can see where it goes. It could be 5 minutes. It could be 5 hours. Again, just here to talk. Just here to spread the good love and vibes. Peace, love, and laughter. Enjoy all.